We're live, guys.
I think we're live.
We're back.
It's been so long since I've heard those words. I think we're live. I'm so glad to be back, everybody. Welcome to Which Game First Thursday Night Game Night. Here we are.
Yeah, sweet.
And we have a designer with us tonight. With hang on, I'm all teched out here. Little bit rusty, got the feed volume on, distracting me. Okay, here I am. We have Distilled's designer, who's going to be live on Kickstarter next month with this game. It looks very sweet. And he's here to make sure we don't completely mess up the rules, which is our ilk. Yeah, good luck. Dave's going to have his hands full managing this group. And, welcome, Dave. Welcome, very, very, very welcome. Tell us about the rules of Distilled so we can get playing.
Sure. So thanks everybody. I'm so excited to be here tonight and joining you at the table. So this is Distilled. My name's Dave. I'm the designer and creator of the game. And Distilled is a spirited strategy game in which you've essentially inherited a distillery that's right in front of you as a player. You have a player board that is the kind of picture into your own distillery. It's empty. It's abandoned because the long lost relative has left it to you. And you all start with two of those. And you get to choose who you're inheriting it from. The purpose of this game, the objective is that you have inherited this, and over the course of a number of rounds, you need to essentially bring this distillery back to its former glory by crafting new and unique and prestigious spirits. You're going to craft one spirit every round, and after you go to the market and buy ingredients and items and upgrades and recipes, you'll make that spirit. Then you'll decide whether or not you want to send it to your warehouse to age and gain more flavor and more prestige and points, or if you want to sell it right away for a lot more quick money and maybe not as many points. You're going to do that every round, and you're going to do that normally in we'd play a 7-round game. Tonight, I think we're going to play a 5-round game, just a little bit shorter, but it'll still give you a nice preview of what the game's like. And at the end of 7 rounds, or in this case, the end of 5 rounds, whoever has the most points, the most spirit points by crafting different spirits, is going to be named the Master Distiller, and they will be the victor of the game. So essentially, the way it works is that each round is broken down into a few different phases, and there's a phase breakdown card next to each person's player board. But essentially what you'll see is that there's a market phase in which we all go to the market and we all gather different ingredients and goods. We all make turns purchasing and obtaining those things and bring them back to our distillery. Then we spend some time in our distillery for the second half of the round doing 3 different phases. First, we distill, in which we craft different types of spirit. Then, if we choose to sell that spirit, we sell it. And then finally, if we've chosen not to sell it, we can age it in our warehouse. So we have a choice to do one or the other for each spirit that we have. And that's going to happen each round, essentially, where the first part is all communal, us working together to try and find things in the market, and then us working kind of on our own as well.
So semi-co-op? You're all working together?
Oh, no. I should say working against each other, trying to get the best goods in there. You could try and do a little bit of co-op in there, but it's probably
working
not
next to each other.
Here's your
that's better.
Working across the street from one another.
That's right. Eyeing up their distilleries, their secret recipe. It's like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. You don't
I like it. Cool.
Yep.
All right. So first thing we got to do is pick our person, right?
That's right. You each have 2 ancestors in your hand. The important thing to look at in your ancestors is that they each have some sort of special action on the front of their card. And then on the back of their card, they're going to have essentially their starting ingredients and items and recipes. You don't need to worry about that as much because when you place it into your into your office, which is the empty wooden spot on your player board, you'll be able to, it'll auto set up for you. So we'll see. Since it looks like there's one, so we get some extra stuff there.
All right.
Once you've chosen that, you can take your the other distiller, the ancestor, and you can place it in this bottle at the top of the table. That's kind of like our discard, and it gets rid of things or recirculates them.
Empty bottle is the discard.
That's right.
Oh, yeah,
All right,
cool.
let's get distilling.
So my name is let me see my character's name. I am Etienne Dauclair or Etienne Clearwater from France.
That's right.
All right.
I like it.
All right. Did you want a background from me, or is somebody else going to go?
we want your backstory. It's
I was the first.
Experience
I was the
points for that.
first woman to use a lance in my family.
Etienne is a woman's name. Did you
Etienne,
just
yeah.
say your name was Etienne?
Etienne, yeah.
Oh, I
Is
did
it a
not
woman?
know
Yeah,
that
right.
was a.
Well, you
I
should
think it
read
could be
that
either.
closely. Read the backstory closely.
Oh, there is a backstory. I just making one up. Hold on a second.
It's literally on the back.
Etienne Angier was acclaimed in her youth as an extraordinary horsewoman and archer. Oh, I guessed that. Wow. As an adult, she began dressing in male clothing and famously participated in tournament jousts. Oh my God, I totally just made that up. Oh, wow.
So
For
that's
Henry.
where the name comes from. It is because I was
Under the name-
wondering why she had a boy's name. That's interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Under the name Etienne Dauclair in middle age. Oh, wait, put your hand out of there. I can't see it.
Oh, sorry.
Green hand.
That was me.
In middle age, he retired to Antiquin, Aquitaine, establishing Vignoble d'Auclair in 1570.
Very good. Well done.
It's all right.
Oui, monsieur. Madame.
Madame. That's pretty cool.
All
Yeah,
right.
the picture is
Very-
kind of
I love it.
androgynous, and I thought it was
Love
just
that
a single
backdrop.
woman.
Yep.
That's cool.
I love
All
all
right.
that stuff.
Who
in
else,
the
who else
background.
has the
All right.
character to choose?
Yeah, who are you choosing?
You got
Hey,
Am I
Jack
allowed-
Burton.
Am I allowed
Woo,
to
welcome
choose?
back.
All right.
Two identity. How do I choose? Let's see.
You just drag it.
So
into
you just
your-
drag it onto your office space, the empty picture frame.
I don't want that one. I'll take this one.
Oh
Alright.
no, they're in your hand. Oh, that's
Oh,
fine
they're in my
too.
hand.
Oh,
Oh, no, that's
too late.
fine. That's
No,
good.
you-
It auto set up. Go for it. Look at you. You just want the Scott. I see what you're doing. You're just going straight for the Scott.
Angus
There you go.
Douglas.
Angus.
Ooh, Angus.
Angus.
Of course.
Let's get to distilling.
Aye.
Ah.
I'm Angus. From the
Yeah, there's a. If
From
you
the
flip it
time
over,
we-
your history's on the back. I don't know if we want to
Oh,
do
yeah.
that for everybody. I'm sorry, I
Nah,
started
don't
that
think so.
trend
Let's
here.
just get on
All
with
right,
it.
is it my turn to pick one?
Yes, pick one, Ed.
Go for it. You see them in your hand?
Yeah, I see the two in my hand. I'm gonna go make some
perfect.
rum.
Yes. Oh, you're a pirate.
I hope
Oh,
you
you-
have an Australian accent, Ed.
No, he's another Frenchie.
Oh, he's
Jean-Baptiste
French.
Lefleur.
Well, it's Jamaican, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, Jamaican. All right.
Yeah, it's
He's got a
Jean
French
Baptiste
name.
Saint Fleur was born in 1650 in Haiti and became known as a dread pirate through the Caribbean from his base in
Yeah.
Port Royal, Jamaica. He raided settlements and shipping along the Spanish Main. After pillaging that plantation and leading the slave revolt, he established what would become Saint Fleur Spirits on the isle.
All right.
All right.
Nice.
Was that your Haitian accent?
No,
Yeah,
I was
don't-
not. I was not trying to do
please.
it because I would just murder it.
Yeah, don't ask Ed to
That
do a
one.
Haitian accent. That's
Good
a terrible
point.
idea.
Good point.
So now what you all have is you have your ancestor that you're going to try and honor them in their passing, in their afterlife, by crafting some amazing spirits. You also have a secret distiller's goal in your hand. It's the yellow card in your hand. You'll want to look at that, and you can keep it in your hand if you want, or you could just place it kind of right in front of you, right below your distillery player mat, face down. We reveal those at the end of the game, and you'll shoot for that. Normally in the full game, we'd have multiple ones you choose from, but for today, we'll just have this one that you'll work with.
I got you. So we should flip it over and put it in front of us so we know our distillery.
You got
goals.
it.
That's what you're talking about, right? Yep, got it.
You got it. Yep.
And those
And
are
then
our
once you
secret goals.
and for those that know, you just hold Alt Shift and you can peek under a card in
Mhm.
TTS.
Mm.
Right,
All right. So
but I can peek.
there's
at,
that.
I can peek at Mikey's card when he's.
Don't
has
do that.
his-
Well, he'll know it. He'll know it.
I think I'll leave my card.
Ouch.
Yeah.
He'll see
People
it.
love messing. Get off. All right.
So you all started with certain resources. You've all got some yeast or water or both in your hand. That was part of the setup on the back of that card. You also have some money. So we see that Angus has 2 coins. We see that Jean-Baptiste has 4. And Etienne has 3. So you all start with a different money as well. You also all start with and I'm going to use Jean-Baptiste in the middle. You also all have a signature family recipe that's been passed down from you. From your
Premium
ancestor.
dark rum. That's the reason why I picked this one.
That's right. So this is an extra fancy spirit that you can only make once, but it's worth a lot of money and worth a lot of points. You can see that in the bottom left.
Yeah.
As compared to something else that might be worth less. So you all have that. You all have pretty hard ones to make. You all chose challenging characters, so good work with that as well.
Only 5 rounds.
That's
Good
the only
work.
way I do it. Yeah.
Exactly. So with that, what we can do is I'm going to do a super quick run through of how you distill, and then I think we can go off to the races and just do a hand holding round, if that's okay with everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you
All
distill by fermenting the sugars.
You are good. Nice work, Ed. That's exactly right.
We make mead.
That's exactly right. You get some honey. You can make some mead. So, I'm going to keep using Jean Baptiste. Is that Ed? Is that you? Are you Jean Baptiste?
Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to keep using reds as the example.
Sure.
Really quick. This is the core hook mechanic of Distilled, which is the distillation process. In order to distill a spirit every round, and I'm going to cheat here, you have to have at least one card in the yeast category here. I'll explain what this is in a second. At least one card in the water category. And at least one card that is a sugar in the sugar category. Now, this could have been a grain, a plant, or a fruit. Right now, I'm just using a grain, and I'll explain why in a second.
Yep.
But you have to have
a good combination for beer right here.
That's right. You're starting for beer. That's exactly right.
Ah.
So you have to have at least one card. You could have more. You could have 2 mixed grains. You could have 3 yeast. It doesn't matter. But you have to have at least one card of each in there. Why that is I want you to imagine your left-hand side, and you can kind of see it when I pull it away, as a giant wooden tub, a giant wooden vat that you're dumping your ingredients into. Okay? When you dump them in there, what's going to happen now is that the yeast is going to interact with those sugars, like Ed said, and they're going to ferment and turn it into alcohol. Okay? And what happens here in the distillation process is that we are going to count the total number of sugars in the middle row. So right now there's 1, but let's say I had 2 here. Ed would hold his hand over here, and he'd see that there'd be 2 cards there.
Yep.
Okay, but we're going to go with 1 for now. And you're going to count that total number, and you're going to add alcohol cards, which are in the middle of the table, equal to the total number of sugars. So if Ed did have 2 sugars there, 2 grain, he'd draw 2 alcohol cards. We're just going to draw 1, though. It's just a face-up stack. What this is showing is the yeast is eating the sugars and turning this into alcohol. And Ed's exactly right. We have just made beer. And actually, that's how you first distill any spirit, is you make essentially beer. But we don't stop there. We now are going to put it through a still. And a still essentially is something that cooks it at a high temperature, creates it into vapor. The alcohol vapor rises first before water, sticks to a pipe, and then gets cold and turns into liquid. And that's how we make alcohol. So the way we're going to do this is we're going to mix it all up in that vat, and we're going to group all 3 together. We're going to flip it over and shuffle it. And we're going to take some cards. There's a little bit of push your luck or mitigate your luck here in Distilled. Because when you distill alcohol in real life, the first part of the run that comes off the still and the last part is actually toxic. And that's why when they say that moonshine blinded me or whatever, that's literally why. It's because they didn't do a good job of distilling, and the first part and the last part are toxic. It's what makes nail polish remover. It's what
it's what separates nail polish remover from whiskey.
I'm serious.
That's acetone, but yeah.
Yeah, it's acetone. Yeah. So anyway, so that's what's going on here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to pull the first card and the last card from this stack, the top card and the bottom. But before we do that, I want to point out something quickly with the recipes. So we see on the right-hand side, this is your recipe checklist. You don't know how, you're a new distiller. You just inherited this from Jean-Baptiste. You don't know how to make very many things yet. You do know how to make vodka and moonshine.
Well, yeah.
What we see here is vodka can make can use any sort of sugar, grain, plant, fruit, or a combination thereof. But moonshine cannot have any sugars whatsoever in it in order for it to be called moonshine. And just to jump down really quick to rum, since that's Jean-Baptiste, if Jean-Baptiste eventually acquires the rum knowledge, we'll notice here that it says 2+ plant. It needs at least 2 plants in the concoction after it comes out of the still. If it had any grain or fruit, it is not rum. It is tainted. It's most likely vodka at that point. Okay, so why I show you that is that we're trying to make we're trying to make vodka. We have a single grain in here, but we're going to have to take the top card and the bottom card. Now, the good news is that distillers, when they do take the first cut and the last cut, they actually reuse it. No joke. They reuse it in future distillations. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to take the top card and we're going to reuse it by putting it into our pantry. Okay, that's alcohol, and that's okay. It's a wild card, so that's good. And then we're also going to flip the whole thing over. And luckily, we pulled the water. So what that means is that we have, if I pull it, I'm dragging it out in front because it easily splays it out for me. We see that I have made a yeasty, grainy vodka that basically doesn't have much alcohol in it at all because I pulled the alcohol out. But what I've done is I've successfully made vodka by demonstrating that I do have a sugar in there. And this is when I would go to sell it for money in the top left corner. And I'd also get any sort of spirit points associated with it. In this case, this is a very cheap, poor quality spirit. So I'm not really getting many points.
Hang on, Dave. Since we're on the topic of vodka.
Yeah.
Trivia time, everybody.
Okay.
A quick trivia question. Are all vodkas gluten-free? That's your question. So we'll start easy with a yes or no. Are all vodkas gluten-free?
Gluten-free.
If we were paying attention to what Dave said, we may know the answer already. Right. Go ahead, Dave.
All right. Okay. That was good. Oh man, I'm curious to hear what people say. Okay. So there we go. That's perfect. That's exactly right. So we've got, we're selling it. We're getting points. We're getting money. And then last but not least, we go up here to the center of the table where we have our labels. Now this represents the demand for the market out there. And we only have a certain amount of labels for each one. More vodka and moonshine, but everything else is per player. And that's it. And why this is important is that we're going to grab a vodka label, bring it back to our distillery, and Jean-Baptiste is going to get to place that in one of these 7 bonuses at the top of Jean-Baptiste's distillery and get that instant thing, right? So it could be a new upgrade, a new recipe, money, ingredient, whatever. And then you'd put it there, you'd get it, and then it would stay there for the rest of the game. So
Okay.
I just wanted to, I think the rest of it we can probably kind of walk through together as we play, but I wanted to make sure you understood the distillation, which is really the core of the game. And I'll walk you through the rest of it, of course, as we go.
The barrel and the bottle.
vodka, I'm sorry. The reason he made vodka is because that was the only one of 2 possibilities that he could make. It was either that or moonshine.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. Right now, if he had owned soju, for instance, which is the 4th one down, the bronze tier, and he had 2 grain in there, after he distilled, after he pulled his head and his tail, which is what it's called, if he still had 2 grain, he would have made soju.
So
And then he would have gotten more points.
And how do you
Oh,
learn
yeah.
to make, how do you learn to make these?
Good question. You learn to make them by essentially acquiring that knowledge by buying it in the store, in the market. So you're going to purchase those different tiers of recipes by purchasing that cube for the amount of money shown, and then coming back to your checkboard and putting that cube down on that spot.
Right.
So we're all going to be making vodka or moonshine first before we do anything else.
Well,
Most likely.
unless you want to start getting something different.
Right, saving up ingredients or whatever. Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
notice
and
I have
you
a
have
card over
someone.
here. How do I use this card here?
Good. Thank you, Ed. Good question. So that card is only unlocked. It's a special sugarcane that only Jean-Baptiste has access to. That is unlocked by placing the spirit label once you make something on this specific spot. Move signature ingredient to pantry. Then you get to move that into your pantry.
That's the only way
so
to do
you're-
it. Okay. All right.
Yep, that's the only way. Your recipe is available at any time. So you don't have to use this sugarcane to make it, but you'll notice that your premium dark rum not only requires 2 plants, but also at least 1 sugarcane. It could be this one or one you buy in the market, or a couple, which would be even better to hope that you don't lose it.
I'm
Right.
seeing that my special ingredient has a 4 victory point marker on that. Does that mean I lose those 4 victory points or gain them in some way? Like by not
If you
using
can get that through, if you can get that through your spirit, and when you're bottling and laying all those cards out, that's a higher quality spirit because you've got that fancy, in your case, the Ugni Blanc grapes.
Ugly
Ooh.
Blanc. Uni Blanc. Great.
Cognac.
So with that, I'm going to see who goes first. It looks like we've got Red going first. I just did a random thing. I hope that's okay, Ed.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, Ed.
Oh, sure, Ed. Let Ed
course,
go
Ed.
first. Sure.
We all get the same
I'm fine
amount
with
of
that.
we all get the same amount of turns anyway, right?
Yeah, everyone's get the same, and it rotates. First player rotates. I'm not going to worry about the. You all know each other so well. I'm not going to worry about any sort of turn tracker. We can just dive in, and really the first thing you're going to do here is you've got your yeast in your hand. So you know already that you don't need yeast this turn, Ed, unless you want. And now you get to go to market, and each of you are going to buy one card at the market at a time, and then it passes on to the next person. And one thing I'll just quickly show is the basic market is where you can make everything in the game low quality style. So basic mixed grains, mixed plants, barrels. And then up above that is the premium market. These are premium items, premium sugars, and then also distillery upgrades. And you can all have up to 3 of those installed in your distillery. For this first round, if I were you, I would really focus on the basic market. You can go there up to 2 times, so you can get basically 2 cards in a round, because you'll notice some of them are free to get.
Yeah.
So with that, Ed, knowing that you can get a recipe, something from the basic market, or something from the premium market, it's your turn.
All right. Well, I'm thinking. Let's see. So I can get one of these cubes, or I can get one of these, or that's it.
Or anything up here too. Any of these all laid out here too.
All right,
Cost is
I'm
the
gonna
tag in the
get a
bottom right.
basic plant.
Okay, good. So you're gonna pay 1 for a mixed plant, and you can, if you want, just drop it in your black bag right next to you. That's what that's for.
Oh, put this in there.
No. Sorry, the money. That can go up on top here just to show what you've purchased for now.
Okay.
Perfect. Perfect. And we'll also notice really quick.
Got it.
There you go. Perfect.
See
We'll also notice that Ed's got a discount on bottles. Let's see. Angus has an ability, a good ability when they're aging, which we haven't talked about yet, but we'll get to that. And then Etienne has a discount on distillery upgrades. So with that, the play passes. Yeah, play passes now to Angus.
All right. Trivia answer time before we hear Angus's awesome accent.
There are some gluten-free, or they're not all gluten-free. That's my answer. I didn't say.
Oh man, Mike, you just messed up our perfect score of 100 because the answer is yes. All vodkas are gluten-free. And everybody on the feed got it right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep,
nice
nice
job,
work.
everybody, but me.
All right. So the truth is, yes, they all start out with gluten-y products, but through the distillation process, that all boils out, I guess.
That's right. You got it. You got it.
Right. Well, all right. So now we're going to have one more easy one for Mike. Yes or no? Can moonshine actually lead to blindness?
Yes.
Can moonshine actually lead to blindness?
The answer is yes.
If you think so, Mike, I want you to also, if you
Drink
think
a lot of
so,
moonshine. Oh, yeah.
say how that is.
Oh.
How does it lead to blindness?
How does moonshine lead? It is a really bad chemical
Yay,
reaction in the body
Betty.
that leaves nerve deadness in your ocular nerves.
Yeah,
That's it.
nope.
You didn't ask me for the science. It was a yes or no question.
All
right.
Who turn?
Angus.
Angus is going.
Angus.
It's Angus's turn.
Angus.
Go
Angus
pick
needs
something
to
from the
mix-
market, Angus.
I take the mixed
We
grains.
didn't have all day.
And
Good one.
everybody in the feed also, if you say yes, I want to know why. It could make you blind.
Everybody's gonna be scared, and now they're gonna all say no.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
All right.
You're all set, Angus.
So Angus, yeah, free grains.
Free grains
the
by
island of
everyone.
Scotland has it. Yeah, that's right. It's on to Etienne.
Etienne. All right. So, I like the free grains as well.
Oh, Etienne, you have the whole stack. You greedy
I took-
French
But
knight.
they're free. They're
19.
free. Why can't I take the whole? Sorry.
19.
All right. Let me put the whole stack back.
my
One.
gosh.
Did I get it all? Okay.
I'm gonna slap that blue
Then
hand.
I'll just take one.
That's right.
Quickly grab one.
There you go.
There you
Nice.
go.
That
All right.
Nice.
And put it right in front of me.
Good.
That's cool.
And it's back to Jean Baptiste.
Jean
All right.
Baptiste.
So, am I allowed to buy one of these cubes?
You know it. Yep. You could right now. You can only afford the bronze tier, but yes.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take one of those brown cubes. I'm gonna stick it right over here. Boop.
Got to start
Nice.
somewhere.
That's right.
And those
Good
cubes are
work.
going to unlock recipes. Oh boy.
That's right. So now he's placed it. Jean Baptiste is making some cachaça, which is from Brazil, a Brazilian spirit. And so when you do that, you're going to pay 2 coin for that recipe. And there you go. And then it's on to Angus again.
Well, as William Wallace once said, freedom. And he meant ingredients.
Freedom of ingredients.
So, oh gosh.
How much is a silver one?
Tempting to follow what Jean Baptiste is doing.
So let me talking about free, because the Scots do love their free stuff. Let me point out something really quick. On the water and yeast, which you already have, you'll notice they each have a power. If you take a yeast if you buy a yeast at the market, you get free money.
What?
If you
Free
buy
money.
a water, free money. If you buy a water at the market, you get to look at the top card of a deck and choose to buy it or not.
Wait, what?
So just keep that in mind.
Oh,
Well, why don't we grab some yeast then? No, cannot be traded. When purchased, immediately gain 1 money.
How many rounds of buying do we get?
2, right?
Till everybody's passed. You can
Oh,
buy up to 2 cards
Oh.
from the basic market, but once everybody's passed.
Oh,
Oh.
it's almost time.
And
All right.
there it is. My coin supply has gone up.
So I could get a second. I can get a yeast if I want to. Have you gone, Evan?
Yes, I'm all done.
All right, I will get yeast then. And that one said you get money for the yeast.
You do. You get a shilling.
Free money. Yep.
Free money. All right.
Perfect.
All right.
Free money, free yeast. And then it's on to Jean Baptiste.
All right. I'm thinking I'm gonna get one of these waters.
Okay.
Nice.
Now the rule is you can only
And
get 2
yeah.
from the basic market. So I'm
That's
out
right.
of I'm out of purchases.
When
from the basic
purchased, you may
market.
draw the top card of any market deck.
Yep. So if you want, you could. The chance of you pulling it is probably pretty low as far as being able to afford it. But then again, you do have a discount on bottles. But you'll get to pull a card off of one of the 3 market decks up here, the premium decks.
Right.
And
so
if you
the
can
bottles
purchase
are
it, if you
gonna-
can afford it,
I think the bottles are more likely to be here, right?
yeah, that's where the bottles are.
So I'm gonna try one of these.
It's a bottle.
Oh, hey,
Free bottle.
Well,
free bottle for you.
Free
I mean,
bottle.
I think your ancestor would be rolling over in his grave if he knew you were acquiring plastic
plastic
bottles. But that's
bottles,
okay.
That's fine.
That's beside the point.
We're starting off over here.
So, all right. Let's see here.
Okay.
Think of it this way: there's less broken glass on the beach now.
That's nice. Oh man.
Let's
All right. So my
see.
turn.
No, it's my turn.
Angus.
Okay. Angus.
Angus. Suppose I'm gonna need a vessel of some sort. But
Should say you always have I forgot to mention that you always have a trusty basic metal barrel and a glass bottle in your distillery that's reused every time. So when you buy new bottles or new barrels, those just are going to be kind of extra premium.
and is it one-time use?
All of the bottles and barrels are except unless it says on the card. So the ones you have in your distillery, you can reuse every turn.
Right, that's your basic, but it doesn't give you much as far as extra money.
That's right. But these other barrels or bottles are definitely one-time use in the market.
That's
Well, this one
interesting.
isn't actually.
Like the
What is
wood
it?
barrel.
That one you can rinse out and use again. But the wood barrels are definitely only one-time use.
One-time use. All right. Well, I could really only afford
By law.
one, anyways.
Yeah, that's right. By law.
In America.
Well,
America
if you're
by law.
making a bourbon,
Hey,
actually-
he's a Scot. He's a Scot. He reuses that stuff.
right?
Like
You
I said,
reuse
they're
it.
thrifty.
Yeah.
Ed, just a heads up, the feed says there's some connectivity problems.
Uh-oh.
So
Hmm.
just so you know, I did it cut out a couple times. It keeps saying live video is interrupted. The broadcast should be
All
has
right.
been paused and should resume quickly. So Ed, you may want to check on that.
When I buy a recipe, am I allowed to unlock any of these recipes I want on my list?
Depending on
Good
the
question.
color.
So the bronze tier, silver tier, and then gold tier. So if you buy a bronze tier, you can unlock soju or cachaça.
I see. And do you have to go in order?
No.
Okay. How much is these? Oh, it's 4. I need more.
Money.
I need more money. I need to get to 4. I
So
don't have
the ways to
4.
get money is that just buying yeast and selling stuff, or
Yeah,
Yeah, bottling. When you bottle, you're going to get an influx of money. So when you sell something
Okay.
at the end of this turn.
All right. So I guess I'll pick up the jug for 2, I suppose.
all right.
Good.
All right. Oops, put it in my hand.
s-
Sorry.
And we'll
Because-
refresh this.
All right. So
Got a new
because of
barrel
what I
coming out.
have, because I have 1 grain only,
Mhm.
the only thing I could potentially make this turn is either vodka or moonshine, right? Like
Yeah.
like buying a recipe like gin right now is just kind of, or whiskey is jumping the gun, right? Because
Yeah, I would say it's jumping the gun. You could buy a bronze tier, or you could just go for vodka and moonshine, which is totally fine. Makes some good money.
Yep.
It's a good money maker.
Yep. Yeah, that's
Okay.
kind of what I think I should do. Is make some moonshine or whatever. But moonshine I would need. Oh, it has none of those ingredients in it, right?
It's kind of like an accident. So you want to be shooting for. You could try and just put 1 grain in there, and it might get pulled out. But
Right. Yeah, but it's worth two. It's worth $2 instead of $1, right?
yeah, it's worth more money. Yep.
All right. So
Is
I
it?
like moonshine anyway. So yeah. All right. Cool. So, yeah, but if so I can purchase something, and if I have 0 money left, I'm still gonna at least make moonshine or something else, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So I will buy a silver tier.
I'm jealous.
Ooh,
I am
Let's try that.
fancy.
Yeah, it's very fancy. I like fancy. These guys know. I'm gonna buy. I'm gonna be able to make whiskey now.
Whiskey.
Ooh.
Whiskey.
That's what I
Nice.
was
So that's
gonna
all your money, and then it's
Yep, that's
on
all
to
my
Jean
money.
Baptiste.
Yes,
still
but
has one
money
coin.
goes into the money thing over here.
No, put it in your black bag, Mike.
Oh, black bag. Oh, I was
You're
gonna put
right.
it back with the other money.
Put it in there if you want.
All right. Oop.
No, that's the rule.
No. I refuse.
Bag.
Ed, are you still working on it? They still say you've got some glitch problems.
Yeah,
So
it's
glitchy.
So it's my turn.
Yes,
Mhm.
but are you still teching the problem?
You can also just
Yeah, I think I can pass at this point. I mean, I don't know that it's worth getting more like water or anything like that, but
You can't anyway, right? You have 2
yeah,
markets.
you've gone to the
Two.
basic market twice.
yeah,
so-
I'm gonna pass then. Yeah.
All right, cool.
I think I'm forced to pass because I can't go to basic
Yeah,
market
you too.
anymore.
Yeah, you don't have.
Same.
Yep.
All
And
passes.
there's no card out for 1, so
Nope.
All right. So everybody passes. So what we're going to do, and I forgot to give this to Ed as first player. What we're going to do is we're going to load the truck up with 1 card on the end. So you'll see this if you look at the market, and I click the button, it rivers everything over 1. So we got fresh stuff in there too. The truck is kind of the discard. There's are ways you can get things from the truck, but for the most part, you can't.
Evan will
dumpster
find a way.
diving. Yeah, truck diving.
All right, so now what you're going to do is now it's moving on to distilling. And the first round obviously always goes a little slower. What you want to do is you want to make sure you've got a card in each of the categories of your washback. You can carry cards over. If you have any bottles or barrels, you can put those in your items to be used at that time. But for now, why don't you all do that?
All right.
Okay.
All right. And I guess this can go in my hand. right?
Perfect.
There's
Yeast,
mine.
Okay.
Yeah, so that yeast either could also go in the washback, or you could put it into your pantry to use it in a future round. Up to
Oh,
you.
it'd go in the pantry. Oh, okay.
Where's the pantry?
There's no real advantage to having 2 yeasts in my recipe, right?
Well, if you think about it, instead of 3 cards, you're going to have 4. So the likelihood of losing a card grows or lessens. Sorry.
Lessons, right? Yeah, because I want to be not left over, so I can make more money off of the moonshine anyway.
Yep.
So, yep.
Okay,
So-
and then you
so
can
did
put
you
your
bring-
bottle, perfect, in your storeroom with the other bottles, and you can do the same thing with this moonshine jug too.
I'm sorry. Am I doubling up my yeast or not?
You can if you want. It's up to you. So it's adding more cards, so the likelihood of losing something is a little less. It's up to you. All right, awesome. So now it looks like everybody has a single card. So you're all going to draw 1 single alcohol off of the deck and add that to your washback. Remember, it's being added. Oh, you got the whole deck. There you go. It's being added based on the number of sugars.